What's going on, everyone? It's Mikey here. So look, I posted a video that I'll put somewhere. It'll be on the thing. You'll be able to see it. Like, it'll be like a little link to it. Anyways, if not, I'll put the link in the description. Whatever. But I posted a video called "Watch This Before Becoming a Paramedic." Just trying to, just throw some content out there. I haven't really ever talked about my job as a paramedic, and I didn't realize until I posted this video it's doing okay. It's got about 1K views, and I'm pretty pleased with that. And it's kind of one of my top performing videos on my channel, and I was like, holy crap, I didn't realize people were interested in EMS. I thought we were just ambulance drivers and a mobile healthcare taxi service. I thought people looked down on. I didn't know people were actually interested in the career of a paramedic. Like, what the? Oh my God, we're getting some notoriety here. So, all jokes aside, I've decided that I'm going to start a YouTube podcast on paramedic. Like, we're gonna talk about my state that I live in, Alabama. We're going to talk about national EMS. We're going to talk about, I'm gonna do some reaction videos to like ambulance services, like some TV shows. Like there's a show I used to watch. I don't know if it's still a thing. It's like Chicago Fire. Yeah, like stuff like that. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. And we're gonna talk about some much needed stuff that needs to be talked about. Yeah. Some things that need to be addressed, I feel like. That private EMS is lacking, and I'm gonna call out the legislation. I'm gonna call out protocols. I'm gonna call out regulations. I'm gonna call it out. I'm gonna call it like it is, because I see it every day. I see the tired, stressed, underappreciated looks on employees' faces all the time, because I am a supervisor at the company I work for. Not gonna name them directly, and I won't mention any specific agency in the area that I work at, but I will talk about some things that I feel like needs to change or improve, and hopefully raise some awareness to citizens and give some insight to what it's like to be a paramedic for people who are maybe interested in it. I've been in EMS for over 13 years now, and I feel like I can talk about this. So we're doing a podcast. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it's a good thing. I think it needs to be addressed, and I was very pleased and shocked that people were taking kind of an interest in it. And I thought about doing content like this before, but I was like, no, it's like nobody cares about that. Nobody wants to know. But I was wrong. But anyways, on this episode 1, I'm gonna talk about like how it started, where I came up, and where I'm at now in my career and where I'm heading. And then we'll conclude the episode. And then for the second episode, I'll give you a little insight. There was a report sent out in Alabama in the Jefferson County area by Fitch and Associates, addressing concerns about the EMS system out there. It's pretty bad. And I just want to put my 2 cents in on it. So the second episode will be going over that report. And I'll link all that stuff in the video. But anyways, yeah. This is weird for me. It's very weird for me. But I'm excited, and I hope you enjoy this content. If you do, hit that like button, turn the bell on, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. So, but yeah, anyways, we'll get into it. Here we go. right, so like I don't know how I don't know how other people in EMS, I don't know how they started, how they wanted to do this job, and I don't know. But for me, okay, for me, I was a young kid, fresh out of high school, I think. Yeah, fresh out of high school. And I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I think I was going to school at a local community college, Shelton State, for nursing, and I quickly realized that I hated school. At least I fell for the rat race, man. I fell for it. I was like, man, I want to make some money. I want to have a job. I'm gonna move out. I'm gonna do all these things. And what was I wrong? I didn't know how the world worked. I didn't know how money worked. But anyways, I started working like little odd end jobs, like fast food. I worked at Home Depot. Worked at Dollar General. Let's see. I worked at a Toyota mechanic shop. But something happened. Yeah, I got a speeding ticket. I think that's what it was. Yeah, I got a speeding ticket. I'm pretty sure it was a speeding ticket, if I'm not mistaken. So to get the speeding ticket off my record, I had to do some community service. Well, just so happens that we had a volunteer fire service in my hometown. And the chief of the volunteer service was like, "Hey, you can come wax some fire trucks. And we'll get your hours in." It started off like waxing fire trucks, and then like occasionally I'd go help the city maintenance guy with some stuff. It wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible, but I did not want a speeding ticket on my record. So anyways, so I'm out there waxing this fire truck, right? It's huge. It's a massive fire truck. And I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of intrigued into the fire side of things. Never really thought I'd get into EMS. But I was like, hey, I want to be a firefighter. It's awesome. You get to go fight fire and riding these trucks and do all this cool stuff and save lives and stuff. So when I finished my community service, the fire chief slid me a piece of paper and was like, "Hey, I already talked to your mom. You're gonna join the volunteer fire department." I was like, sounds good to me. Let's get it. And that's how I got bit by the bug, man. Got bit by the bug of emergency medical service, of public service. That's how I got bit by it, and ended up doing that for a while. Fought some fires, ran some wrecks, worked some medicals. I was on top of the world, I think, at that time in my head. Had a radio, had turnout gear. I was like, man, I'm gonna put strobes in my car. I never did. I was not one of those. I never put strobes in my car. I never got to that point. Okay. Finally snapped out of it before I became. I'm kidding. I'm kidding to all the people that have strobes in their car. You do you. It's fine. Some people love it. Some people love it. I got out of it, but yeah, my chief came up to me and was like, "Hey, you want to get your EMT license?" Because he was like, "I'm gonna get mine." So like, they're doing this little EMT class at another volunteer fire service. They're holding an EMT class. Man, that was the most like degenerate group of people I've ever been around in my life. It was so fun though. I had so much fun. I didn't know crap, and like I think I barely passed EMT, to be honest. I don't know. That was a long time ago. I don't remember. I do remember struggling because I wasn't smart. I didn't give a crap about school. Um, but yeah, I got my EMT. Let's see. I think it took me like 2 times to get my license. I think I failed. So EMS, excuse me, I'm like burping and stuff. It's gross. But EMS, so you got EMT, advanced EMT, intermediate, and paramedic. That's the 4. And then past paramedic, you got like critical care medic, flight medic, stuff like that. We're gonna stick with the core ones. You got EMT, advanced EMT, intermediate, and paramedic. I don't know if they still have intermediates, but they did when I was coming up. So EMT was like a semester. They send you to school for a semester. They tell you you're gonna do glorifying things that will put your name in the history books for all eternity. No. No. EMTs, you're not going to be. They're not going to erect statues in cities for you. I'm sorry. They will if you're on emergency, though, or Nightline, or Chicago Fire. But anyways, I did a semester. Took me 2 times to pass, because when you get out of school, you have to take a national test. It's a national certification. Like it's generalized across the entire nation. They have a standardized test that you have to pass in order to get a national registry certification in EMS as an EMT or advanced or intermediate or paramedic. Everybody has to take it. Like each one you go up, you go EMT, advanced, you have to take national registry each time. Okay. You take national registry, you pass it, you send in the information to the state or local government of where you're at, and they issue a state license for healthcare. Anyways, yeah, I did that. Had my EMT, and then I think I went and worked at Toyota for a little while. That's when I started working at Toyota. Yeah, I was working at Toyota, changing oil. You know, I had a good time with it for a little while. I hated getting my hands dirty. I hated all that grummy crap under, like, I don't know what it is. Like, I'm not a sissy by no means, but I just really hated just being covered in oil. I just didn't like it. So I left that, and then I got a job opportunity, and I told, at the time I was living with my mom, and I told her, I said, why don't I try to go get a job as a EMT? She was like, yeah, that'd probably be a good idea, since you went to school for that and you have a license. I'm like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Sounds like a great idea. So that's when that happened. And it was around about the time the April 27th tornadoes hit Alabama. Yeah, that's when I started, was around that time period. And I was really emboldened to like help my community at that time, because I mean it was terrible. My hometown got destroyed. A lot of people that day, a lot of tornadoes that day. It was like the worst tornadic event in history, I think. A lot of very large tornadoes, long lasting tornadoes too. It was terrible. It wiped out like a whole city where I lived, and I think that really drove me to want to get a job in that. And I did. Started working. I will mention this place, because they're not open anymore. They shut down. They sold to AMR because they're sellouts. I'm kidding. So I started working at Rural Metro in a city in Alabama, and boy, I had a blast. But in my head, I had this vision of like, yeah, I'm gonna be dealing with traumas and gunshots, and I'm gonna be working wrecks and doing CPR and doing all this amazing crap, and like I'm ready. No dialysis. We're doing dialysis and discharges out of hospitals. That's what you're gonna be doing for the next 6 months. I hated it. I'm sorry. I absolutely hate it. I'm gonna be honest with you. After 2 months of dialysis and discharges and stuff, I was like, what? Like, what? Why did I go to school? I haven't even seen a sick person. Well, that's because you're not on an ALS truck, sir. You're on a BLS truck, basic life support. You're not on an advanced life support truck. Well, how do I get to an advanced life support truck? You sell your soul and you go work a 24 on 48 off shift. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It wasn't bad. I had a blast at Rural Metro. I had so much fun. Made a lot of good friends. I learned a lot. I wouldn't be the paramedic I am today if I hadn't worked there. But anyways, that's how I got started, and started working there, and then ended up getting on what's called a shift truck, which is a 24 on 48 off shift. You work one day, full day, 24 hours, and you're off for 2. And they have rotating shifts, like you got A, B, and C shift. For most places. I think I started off making $7.50 an hour. I think that's what my pay was starting. And like medics were making like $11-12 an hour. So it was like, which back then it was, back then I think that was pretty good pay, considering, yeah, the economy stuff wasn't as expensive back then. I remember, like right now, like if houses were the same price as they were back in like 2010, dude, I could buy like a 6-bedroom 4-bath house in the middle of the hills, you know. But not now. But yeah, I started doing that. I got on an ALS truck, shift truck. And then I was like, you know what? I want to become a paramedic. And they're like, well, there's this new thing now called advanced EMT that you have to take now because National Registry is running out of money. So they have to make another licensure. So that way you have to pay them. Like, what the frick? Well, some people don't want to be paramedics. They just want to be advanced. They want to be a glorified EMT. That's stupid. Just do EMT and a paramedic. Like you either want to do stuff or you don't want to do stuff. You either just want to drive or you just want to do discharges in dialysis. Or like, you get what I'm saying? Like don't no. No, we're not doing this. No. It's just another money making thing. That's all it is. Like some schools now don't even do advanced EMT. But anyways, I went through it. I went through advanced EMT, got my advanced EMT license, and I paid for myself to go through paramedic school. And you know, there it is. Rural Metro shut down. I started working at the place I'm currently working at now. Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Made a lot of memories, a lot of friends, saw a lot, did a lot, experienced a lot, and I really started to realize that, hey, this job is taking its toll on me, guys. Like, and then like you would go out of state, right, and you would see like these ambulance companies that have like these nice trucks. It used to always where I'm like, okay, I work for a multi-million-dollar company, right? Private EMS service. And this mom and pop over here has got Ford F550s with box trucks that are like brand spanking new with the nicest gear, nicest uniforms, nicest equipment, nicest medical supplies. And it's like, I don't understand. That's when I started realizing that for-profit industry they don't give a crap. They're just like, I want the money. Here's what you got to work with. Make the best of it. And I was like, okay, roger that, dude. I remember going on a call when I worked at Rural Metro. I literally had to get out and change a fuse so the lights would work in the middle of a call. Just me and some needle nose pliers. And I was like, this is embarrassing. This is absolute, because the companies now are like, they get these budgets, right? They have these numbers and quotas that they got to meet. And their hands are kind of tied. It's not my employer's fault. It's not like my actual office employer's fault. It's the corporation's fault, because they give them these unrealistic budget caps that they have to meet. And I'm like, dude, if you would just invest a little bit of money, just a little bit, it would go a long way. They want to talk about salaries and all this stuff. Man, they're making more money than I know what to shake a stick at. Man, I don't know, maybe like, yeah, like, I don't know. Anyways, it was fun and aggravating at the same time. But anyways, and then I left there, and I started working at the company I'm working at now. I made supervisor. That was new and exciting. I've never really been in charge of anything in my life, or responsible for people. And I learned a lot from that. I learned how to talk to people, how to deal with people, how to solve problems, how to think critically under stress, how to multitask. That's really important if you want to get into management in EMS. It's very important to learn how to multitask and time manage, or it'll eat you alive. And look, so just all the petty stuff that some of the employees like complain about, just be like, okay, yeah, have a good day. We got more important stuff to worry about. All right, have a good day. All right, I'm sorry you're not having a good day. Here's your snack bag and your little crayons and your coloring book. Okay, have a good day. No, that'll be for another episode. I think episode 2, we're gonna go over this Fitch and Associates report, and then episode 3, I'm gonna go over how the woke culture and the millennials are not meant for like just manual labor, period. I think that's what we're gonna talk about. Yeah, episode 3, how the young EMS system is so different. Like, they're so sensitive, man. They're so sensitive. They would have made it. But anyways, we'll do that for episode 3. But let's get back on track. Okay, so I started working here. I made supervisor. I left the place I'm working at now and took another avenue adventure. Became a sheriff's deputy paramedic. They had like a new program after the tornadoes where like it taxed our EMS system. So they're like, hey, let's hire paramedics as like mobile rescue in rural areas, but make them cops. I was like, hey, sign me up. It's not that I didn't ever want to be a firefighter, which is what most people do, most intelligent people. They go and work for municipalities with retirement and government funding. And retire sad. And anyways, whatever. So I did that for about 3.5 years. And then I was like, I'm just tired of public service, of being out in the field and stuff. So now I'm in school to be a nurse. I'm never gonna let my medic license go, but it's time for me to do something else. It's just not worth it anymore to me. And we'll get into that in a later date, but I really enjoyed coming up. I had a lot of older medics and stuff that were more laid back, and they just, they were seasoned, man. It was fun too. Like, we had a good time, and now it's changed so much, and I don't think it's changed in a good way. I think it's changed in a bad way. But hopefully we'll be able to address some of that on this podcast. So anyways, that's all the time I got for today. just wanted to give you a little background of who I am, where I come from. Yeah, so that way you'd know where I started. If you got any questions, put them in the comments below. Be sure, to like, subscribe, turn that bell notification on. And yeah, this is episode 1. Also, like, I need help. If you know a good title for this podcast, good name for this podcast, feel free to, put your 2 cents in. That's how ideas are exchanged through word. And I'm gonna leave with some positivity. I think right now is a very important time for open dialogue in our country, where we can sit and have peaceful conversations and peacefully disagree with each other, so that way that we can best come up with solutions instead of all this division and hatred in the world that we see today. I know people are scared. I know people are worried, concerned, angry, hurt. There's a lot of hurt. But guys, we live in the greatest country in the world, America, a land of opportunity and ideas, where people are free to make decisions and choose how they want to live. And until we can sit down as polar opposites and have a meaningful discussion and agree to disagree and disagree to disagree peacefully, if that made sense, nothing's going to change. Okay? We have nowhere else to go. This is the only world we have, and we've got to learn how to live in it together. And I'll leave with that. So, y'all have a good day. Stay safe. And I'll see you on the next episode, episode 2. We'll be going over the report. All right. Peace.